Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. I am back, kind of. I'm not in the studio, I'm at home, but I'm back in LA. I'm going to recap New York. Going to let everyone know how New York's looking. I strongly recommend a trip only within the next 3 months, not afterwards. And then we have a lot of news to talk about. I mean, I think, we had another person drop out of the Olympics. And I think it's only right that we talk about it. We talked about Simone Biles. I think we talk about this gentleman.
We have to. Yep.
We also have to talk about DaBaby.
Not my kid.
Not your kid. Not either of your children. It's actually
ironically, we call Dominic and my son call Miles DaBaby because we love the song.
You might have to change that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to change that now. Yeah, we're gonna talk about why, but I don't think you want anyone in your household being called DaBaby at the moment. And then we have a lot of news to talk about. And then, it wouldn't be Group Chat if we didn't end with a little heated capitalist versus socialist debate.
Yes.
With Tim.
Fiery debate.
Fiery debate.
There's a little bit of a disagreement about some line items on AOC's overhead, and Anand wanted to bring it up and do a little audit. Yeah. And of course Tim had his thoughts as well. So we got a lot to talk about today.
Let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Hey guys.
Hey.
I'm back. Kind of.
You're fresh back from New York City.
I'm back in the same city. However, I am awaiting I'll just say it, even though it sounds a little scary, a doctor visit.
Okay.
I can confirm I do not have any sort of COVID unless it's a new variant that is undiscoverable.
Yeah.
But I do have so I went to New York last week, had a great time. We'll talk about it. But I did it just feels like I didn't actually, there wasn't a lot of people talking about COVID or with COVID, which was actually refreshing. But it does seem like everybody's getting sick once you're back out around people. So I think our immune systems are just super shot, used to doing nothing but sitting at home. And so I have some sort of cold
bug.
Yeah, a little bug, if you will. Lots of flying, lots of bugs.
So how was New York?
It was great. It was really great. I'm not usually a big New York guy, and I'm not jumping all in and saying I now am, but there was this sense of happiness. We were talking a little bit before we started recording, but I think that New York, I don't know the numbers compared to ours, but everyone's so condensed. I think COVID was really, really depressing there. We saw those videos of the tent morgue outside the hospital, and I know it was ground zero there for a minute for COVID. And it really feels like they're just now starting to kind of open back up. And everyone just seemed like they were in a really, really great mood. And it also seemed very safe. We went around and walked around at night a lot. It didn't feel sketchy. Doesn't seem like the same reports of the armed robberies and stuff. Yeah, I think crime is still a little up, but not as popping as we are here in LA. It doesn't seem like. But it just felt abnormally friendly, happy, productive. It was a great trip. And I think I dodged the Delta. So, because there was a point there where I was like, all right, if I get it, I get it. Here we are.
What airline did you fly?
JetBlue. Okay. JetBlue Mint. Just
not Delta. I was just curious just to see if you flew Delta, what's the vibe on the flight?
Soho West Village. It's just a great vibe.
Incredible vibe. I mean, the only thing that was depressing at all was you might go to your favorite old coffee shop or something. I might have said this on the last episode. Yeah. And it's, under new ownership, or they're just kind of struggling back. But all the real restaurants are completely packed, full. Streets are still blocked off on some streets where they do the outdoor dining hybrid thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They do a really good job of outdoor dining there. It's hard for me to explain, but here, a lot of places, it feels like they just kind of put tables in the parking lot. Where there, they have these covered areas that are on the street, and they're kind of branded. They might have greenery on the inside. They have a little bit of a vibe, and so you can go eat there outside on the street in Soho. Everyone's smiling. Like I said, abnormally happy. I'm used to like everyone being kind of a dick. A lot of smiles. Everyone's in a great mood.
I guess the last question on New York, because in my opinion, I think it's the second most international city in the world outside of London. Did it feel international because there's no travel coming in, or did it feel just like Americans?
It's still international.
Yeah, that's a good question. It was international. It felt, gosh, I think my real answer is it didn't stand out to me as seeming like just a bunch of Americans.
Right.
Like, I don't know whether that's the travel that is allowed or whether that's people that might have just moved there or something, but it didn't feel Merca. But yeah, I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it, but that's a good point.
It's pretty...
No, because New York's a city, I think, uniquely in the United States where you can just hear different languages every block.
Well, it's only because you're walking everywhere. I tell you, I was at my kid's soccer practice this morning. Nobody's speaking English. Guy next to me speaking Chinese. A guy to the right of me is Russian. The other lady is Spanish. Dominic and I look like two white boys.
You definitely
speak for yourself, Whitey. Oh, man,
definitely not me. More like Dominic. I was like, damn, look at that white kid just sitting there and only knowing one language.
Yeah. I would suggest, like, if anyone has any reason that they need to go there, maybe wait for the Delta to like see where that's going to land. But I would say, like, maybe this fall, if everything passes over, I would definitely go there before winter. It seems like a unique window.
And there was no like age where it leaned towards in terms of it was just all ages that are out and about.
No, I would say maybe it felt a little young.
That's great.
Yeah. It didn't
that's
feel
actually even more fun.
Yeah. It just felt, man, it felt really like New York is really tough for me. Like I just don't, it's not my vibe, you know, like all the craziness and the whatever, but it felt so live. Like we went and walked through Washington Square Park and it was like, number one, lots of police. So law and order.
Law and order.
And then there was just all these like NYU kids and then other young people, but like literally like, I don't know, like people are singing and someone's painting and there's kids skateboarding. And like, it felt like a movie scene of like, this is New York. Like it felt like the thing that you go there and it's never actually like that.
It's like Kids, the movie Kids.
Yes. But it felt like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like there was a lot of things like that where I felt like super touristy, but it felt, even we drove through Times Square and it seemed like Times Square seemed more clean and safe and all that than when I had went there pre-COVID.
You like when those borders are closed.
So this is New York from the movies. I think that's a great way to put it, Drama.
Yeah.
The way you're describing New York is the way it's portrayed in movies.
Like Woody Allen
when
movie.
you walk through Central Park and it's just amazing and it's incredible and you can go for a jog and no one's going to
holding
rob
hands
you.
and you're having picnic in the fucking park.
It was. We went to the Met. I went to the freaking Met.
The Met's hot. I love the Met.
Oh my God, I've never been there. I felt so cultured, but it was great. Everyone was so happy and everyone loves art.
Yeah.
So you have a small window to visit New York.
Yes.
Because that's my
thought.
Yeah.
My thought is you have probably till winter, you know, then obviously no one wants to go there in the winter. And then next year, you know, we're probably back to business.
I would say Black Friday, Thanksgiving weekend. That's it. That's your last chance to go to New York City.
You should go to Rockefeller Center, see the tree get lit.
Yeah, that's in November at some point.
Do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's over.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do that though. That's too cold.
I would say September, October, I think to me will be the last 2 months and then see you later. Because then once winter hits, no one wants to be around there. We already know the sneezing, coughing. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, highly recommend it. Great
Awesome.
trip.
Excited.
Great recap.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about some quick stuff. Have you guys talked about this whole thing going on with DaBaby yet?
I have been following it very closely. It is probably the biggest piece of news I've followed in the last 4 days.
So I think that why this is so interesting to me is because I feel like cancel culture hasn't really come like for rappers. Like some people have been excluded and it's like, oh, they just talk crazy.
Yeah.
So we don't try to come for them, but they are on DaBaby big time.
Yes.
All the cancel stars are out, all the whatever. And DaBaby is just fighting
Yes.
So break it down for us, D. You're the investigative reporter.
Tell us
Your
what
Dateline.
This is the stuff that I, really pay attention to. Mm-hmm. So Sunday night at Rolling Loud, I'm not going to repeat what DaBaby said because it's incoherent, first of all. I
just got to say real quick, sorry. The cases, I'm sure we'll see some terrible feedback. Rolling Loud seemed very calm.
In terms of what?
Violence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Viral videos.
Yeah. That's
crazy
true.
fist fight. So props to them.
I think it was just too hot.
There's a few mosh pits. That's all I said.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine.
normal.
But I have to believe the clips from Rolling Loud and after seeing the clips from Lollapalooza this weekend, I have to believe nationwide numbers are just through the roof for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's definitely the case.
Yeah.
So
anyway, sorry. Keep going.
DaBaby goes on stage, Rolling Loud, and out of nowhere does this kind of homophobic rant that's literally incoherent. I don't even know what he's trying to say. I don't want to say it.
No, it's so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
D sent it in 7 different text groups.
Well, for the listener, if no one's heard it, I'll give you part of it. It was essentially put your lighters up in the air if you don't have AIDS.
Yeah.
Which kills you in 2 or 3 weeks, which is just an outdated factual opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And then shout out if you're not giving oral sex in the parking lot and you're a dude. It was just very strange.
It was very strange. So then that happened. I see everyone posting. And then the guy in the next 48 hours doubles down on his statement.
Yeah.
And then that's when he's kind of the floodgates open.
All right. So for people who don't know DaBaby,
yeah,
let's rank them in terms of star status. So we know we have a tier of Drake and Kanye.
Yeah.
Kind of
the new artist. Right? Of the new artist, he's the biggest.
So
I would say Drake and Kanye are in God
legendary.
tier.
Yeah, legendary.
Yeah.
And then highest level superstar is where DaBaby lives. He's with
similar to Future.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He's with Lil Baby. He's with all the babies.
Yeah.
Good time to be a baby.
is
Rockstar was the biggest song of the lockdown.
So DaBaby, for context, is just a smidge below Drake and Kanye.
Yep.
And in the last year, yeah. I mean, he's on every big.
Okay, I'm just I haven't listened to music in 2.5 years, so
I would say when the Migos were as big as the Migos were, he's essentially that big.
Yeah. And he has a pop record out right now with Dua Lipa, which is huge, which unfortunately my kids love. So I don't know what we're going to do about that.
Apparently there's a, Demi Lovato said there's a version without DaBaby. So
There is a version. It's not good. Unfortunately, DaBaby's version is good.
Okay, well.
Okay, so he doubles down on the the homophobic.
Just the AIDS stuff. The AIDS.
Why does he care about AIDS so much?
I don't even know.
I think it was the S&D, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the S&D that really, it was essentially shout out to everyone here who's not gay, I feel is what he was trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. And he then, obviously Dua Lipa comes out and makes a statement because their record is probably top 5 in the country right now.
And she's a massive YouTuber,
right? Massive pop star.
Yeah, star,
pop
YouTuber, everything.
And they have a huge record together. And so she comes out and says I don't stand for this. Then all of a sudden, one festival kind of canceled him and said, we don't want to stand for this. I forgot what festival it was. And then
it was London.
Yeah. And then yesterday, Lollapalooza canceled him.
So he was supposed to be there this weekend.
I think he was the headliner tonight. And he then got replaced by Young Thug.
Young Thug?
Yes. Young Thug is very gender fluid.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Sure, but
that's so they
Young Thug's not as big of a star as how you're describing DaBaby.
He's right there. He's a smidge. Young Thug culturally,
Young Thug's just a little bit more outdated than DaBaby.
But Young Thug culturally is very relevant.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So now the only person that has stood up for him is T.I., which I don't know why. But here's the problem: we are seeing rap for the first time, like Drama said, being canceled. If we're going to go down that rabbit hole, it's time to just turn off the genre.
Well, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's kind of an endless, pit there.
I mean, if you want to start pulling up rap lyrics of everything you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So I think I guess the only thing you can separate it, this is the only way that I could think about it in my head, is if you accept that rap, which it is, it's an art form. So in their art, they're like that. But these are comments made outside of their art form.
Sure. I mean, it's a
stretch.
It's a bob and weave.
No, but I think it's a stretch because I don't know if that works. It clearly doesn't work
in movies. If someone goes and shoots someone and
so you're
rapes
saying
someone,
his comments are part of his art?
No. His comments is the one thing that is not part of his art, so he should be treated differently because he made this comment. If you're saying it in your art form, you can go under the pass of, hey, he's an artist. But this guy just hopped on the mic and just started saying this nonsense.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I think the thing that Eminem did that was so masterful was bring out Elton John for the VMAs.
Yeah. Because
he was perceived as this homophobic rapper.
I mean, judging by his lyrics, it sounds like he was.
Sure. But I think it wasn't meant... I mean, who knows? But if I were to go back and listen to... I mean, we grew up on Eminem.
Yeah.
I don't think it was in the realm of being homophobic. Those words were just used out of like malice and violence.
Sure, I get that. And
then he wanted to bring out Elton John for the VMAs, being like, I don't care if you're gay or not.
Yeah.
Like those were just words.
So DaBaby needs Elton John.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because those words, I mean,
Little Nas X.
We grew up
Little Nas X.
We all grew up in the same era. Those words were used.
Yeah.
They were used like bad words, not because you were homophobic.
Yeah.
100%. But I think, I think that DaBaby, because to be honest, I think DaBaby was inspired by Little Nas X. And the reason why I think, I'm doing a lot of speculating here, but the reason why I think T.I. supports him is because T.I. has been very outspoken about not being down for the Little Nas X thing. All the videos and the naked dancing in the shower and too much. And I think that that's why he's like supporting him on that. And I think that that's what DaBaby was so fired up by. I think that's what he was kind of referencing.
Little Nas X is a genius.
Yes, I agree. And I think that he has really pissed off a lot of the like old school minded rap world.
He's too clever. His music is incredible. Like he's running circles around these old people.
Yeah, and he's getting them canceled. They're canceling themselves just
he doesn't have to do anything.
About him.
Yeah. And he has the #1 record for
So what happens to DaBaby from here on out?
So that's what, I was thinking about that. I think musically, I'd be shocked if people stop listening to his music. But I think short term, there's a lot of pain. He's going to lose a bunch of festivals. He was never going to be the face of Gillette, even though I'm sure DaBaby, baby like skin. He's never gonna get Harry's deal.
Yeah.
So mainstream endorsements were pretty much out of his league to begin with. But short term, I think it's very painful. And then drop a hot record.
Can he sell out Staples Center tomorrow?
No, I don't think he's a Staples Center guy.
I don't know if he could have ever sold out Staples yet. Like he was kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but
I mean, you're saying he's just below Drake and Kanye.
Okay. There's Travis Scott. There's a lot of people like.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Maybe he could sell at Staples. I don't know because I do think he is that big. But I think it just hurts. Like he's not going on the Tonight Show to promote his new record, which he probably would have been able to perform on there. Like
he's Saturday Night Live's not inviting him.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know why Michael Che was sitting there making fun of Simone Biles.
It's true.
Was he?
Yeah. He's saying he got hacked.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Those are his comments. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
That's how comedians talk.
I think he was drunk. It was late night. And he's like, he posted something to the effect of like, it's going to be, like, what did he say? It's going to be hard to not make fun of Simone Biles or something like that.
Yeah, he just ripped her.
Yeah. And then he posts like 2 hours later, I was hacked. I never said these things. I'm sure Lorne Michaels called him and said, Yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Looks like somebody hacked you.
Yeah. Wink.
Yeah. Speaking of Simone, we got to be equal opportunity shit talkers. What about your boy Novak Djokovic? He had a little breakdown. Maybe he should have bowed out before he
definitely should have bowed out. He threw the biggest temper tantrum on a big stage. It is pathetic. I
want to be clear. I would rather you just say, you know what, I'm going to bow out also. than be a little bitch about it.
Yeah, exactly. So he was on this crazy Olympic run. He's also GOAT-like status. Crazy run. He won the last 3 Grand Slams.
Yeah, he has, I think, the equivalent number of Grand Slams as Roger Federer.
Okay.
So he's on verge of being the greatest tennis player of all time.
And they were going to call it the Golden Slam because if he had won the Olympics and then won the US Open, he would have won it all in 1 year, in 12 month span. And he was on some crazy run. He didn't do well. And then in the bronze match.
No. So what happened was he got defeated in his singles match.
Yeah.
So he couldn't get the gold.
Yeah.
And he was just a little brat. It was the equivalent of, if anyone has grown up playing competitive tennis.
Not a little brat. It was a big brat.
Big brat, sure.
Yeah,
If anyone's grown up playing competitive tennis, because we've all seen this firsthand.
Yeah.
Like, tennis players are the biggest bitches on the planet.
You've seen me do some cheap shit on the tennis court.
Like, we're at
I feel
tournaments.
like you're just allowed in tennis.
Yeah, I've thrown my racket across the guy.
No,
at the other guy.
literally,
part of the culture.
I've been at tournaments and I see like kids who are so much more talented than me breaking their rackets,
Yes.
throwing their stuff, throwing a tantrum. Their parents are yelling at them, and it's a whole fucking shit show.
Yeah.
Do you think it's part of the culture for real?
Yeah, it's spoiled brats.
Yes.
Spoiled brats.
Wow.
I think growing up in tennis, like, sure, I was competitive. I'm not trying to claim I was some great player, but I saw enough really good players.
Yeah.
And they're all pieces of shit.
They were all had bad attitudes.
Like, do you think all the little spoiled bitches were watching that? Like, yeah, go.
Yeah, exactly.
Djokovic.
Yeah, he's our hero. He's our hero.
Smash that racket.
And so he did basically what I saw as a 16-year-old, what a 16-year-old kid would do in a tournament when they're losing. Just break your rackets, throw a tantrum, and he lost. And then he withdrew from a mixed doubles match, claiming a left shoulder injury. So he just quit.
Yeah,
Oh, he did withdraw. Okay, good.
Yeah.
You know what?
And then he chucked his racket also to the 5th row on one and the other.
Yeah, and I just
Like,
want to
there's
go.
no fans.
So he did that, and then, he did that and then quit. And that to me is 5 times worse than anyone can say about Simone Biles.
I agree. I think this is like fucking. It's completely unacceptable. It is so bad because. Especially given just what happened, for him to go and act like that. And he apologized. He goes, "Oh, I don't mean to do these types of things."
And he withdrew after he apologized.
Yes. And then
So he quit.
He quit. He's a quitter.
He's a little crybaby quitter.
You know,
That's
here's the thing about Novak. I've followed his career since he's started. He's always been a little bit of a brat. So this isn't shocking to me.
DaBaby.
not a good time for babies right now.
Here's the
Novak.
interesting thing. Novak had never won a Grand Slam, and then all of a sudden claims a gluten-free diet, changed his performance, and he went on the most record run of like winning Grand Slams that we've ever seen.
Just because he went gluten-free?
And calling performance-enhancing drugs. Novak Djokovic, you're a cheater too.
Only in tennis. Only in tennis would it be like, what have you done to really step up your game? Well, I went gluten-free.
Yeah. You know, at Blaze Pizza, they have the gluten-free. I decided to eat that.
No, legit, this dude went on the most epic run, and everyone's like, what changed? Because endurance was always his issue. Like, he would get to the 5th set, and he would never close.
Yeah.
The gluten. Yeah.
The gluten was weighing him down. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
A little gluten in that syringe. No, but yeah, I just and then I mean, no one's really like,
no one cares.
Yeah,
it's crazy because arguably he's a mega star.
Yeah,
Novak is a global star, and no one gives a shit that he did this.
Yeah,
I think it literally is accepted in tennis. Like, even if I literally think any other sport, for the most part, if you did that, everyone would be talking about it. I think it's part of the tennis culture.
Yeah,
you're allowed to be a brat. That's
like,
what
how
we grew up.
spoiled can you seem? Yeah.
It's a pussy culture.
It is. I can say.
That's amazing. By the way, the golf I was watching last night, the golf showdown was incredible. Did anyone watch that?
No.
Xander Schauffele, I'm probably going to butcher his last name, but U.S. guy. But it was him, Hideki, and one other dude named Rory, not Rory McIlroy. And it was literally down to like 1 point, and the last run was Xander, and he hit it into the trees, and all he needed to do was stay up by 1 point and then he pitched it out of the trees. It was just this whole thing of like, it literally came down to the final putt of whether he could win or not, and he did.
Wow.
I saw there was an Indian that was top 20.
And what sport?
Olympics of golf.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, someone actually tagged us in that.
Sent me that.
I watched some Indians in archery. It was pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Shout out to the Indians.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to talk about some news stuff?
Yep.
So one of the biggest things that, to be honest, like in all of my doomsday awareness, I haven't paid, admittedly, very much attention to this. But one of the big things that's like coming up is this expiration of the eviction ban. So during COVID, you couldn't evict people. A lot of people weren't paying rent. That was okay. There's some crazy number, like 18% of people are behind on rent.
That's the national average. 18% of adult renters live in households that are behind on rent payments.
That's absurd. So now those eviction bans are coming up, and it's like, so what happens? Like, is there just a wave of people that can't afford their rent?
So the national eviction moratorium ended on Saturday, July 31st.
Wow.
Depending on your state and local government, they've been extended. So LA County, for example, got extended to September 30th. And some in New York City, all these different cities have different rules. In the South, particularly, is where people have fell behind the most. States like Mississippi, Arkansas, Georgia. And that eviction ban, the snowball effect is going to be very quick. So in states like Mississippi, you could potentially get evicted and removed from your house the same day. So tenants can lose their eviction case in court and be removed from their house on the same day. So things are going to be happening quick because a lot of these, especially if you so happen to live in a city that experienced a little bit of a boom, like I'm sure Atlanta did, because Atlanta felt like a city people relocated to. Yeah, they know they can get higher rent.
No, in all these cities that you're referencing, rents are up 10 to 20%.
Yeah. So it's in the landlord's interest to evict these people.
This is the snowball effect that we knew was going to happen when all these rent moratoriums and eviction moratoriums were instituted in the middle of the pandemic. Like, we never got to the point like, okay, sure, you don't pay rent for 12 months. So now you have to pay 12 months back rent and the next 12 months? Like, how is that even feasibly possible?
So, for example, but check this out. So the rental assistance program in the South and all over the country, give you an example. There's $45 billion of federal aid available. In DeKalb County, Georgia, which is part of Greater Atlanta, has distributed less than 10% of its available assistance. They haven't even distributed the money.
Right.
This is why. This
is the problem with government.
Yes. So you know what you should have done is
just honestly, like during the middle of the pandemic when everyone's business was shut and no one's earning any money and the economy is going to shit, we just said don't pay your rent.
Yeah.
But no one said what's going to happen in 12 months.
Yeah. And now there's like families being interviewed. They're like, we don't even know what our local shelter is. Like, we're getting kicked out this week. Right. Our landlord's very aggressive. It's
disgusting.
And lawyers that are available in most of these, there was a town in Mississippi said there's eligible one legal services attorney for every 20,000 eligible clients. So forget it.
So everyone's going to the streets.
So this is going to be a serious issue, and the federal aid can't get distributed. This is a perfect example. As soon as this federal aid was earmarked, we should have gone to what do most Americans have? Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, all of these services. Go to them and say, we need help distributing this aid. You know, when the PPP happened, the one good thing they did is they had the banks distribute it. Otherwise, it wouldn't get distributed.
Right.
If we were all sitting on the SBA site waiting for it, we wouldn't have gotten it.
True.
We used private enterprise to distribute the money. Because why? Because it's small, it's business. That's all America cares. We care about business. God forbid you fucking help anybody. It doesn't work. And so this is complete fuck up by the federal government to not distribute this aid.
It blows my mind. Sorry, go ahead. We could have easily what?
We could have easily at least mitigated so much of this problem if we had just let private enterprise distribute the money.
And on top of that, what we should have done is backstop the landlord so that they don't care that they're not getting paid rent.
It just blows my mind how not technologically savvy, like light years behind the government is. Like when you think about even, I saw a thing that like the FBI tweeted, like because of people faking COVID vaccination papers at Lollapalooza. Like if you do that, it's a federal crime. You will be arrested, blah, blah, blah. Like you're telling me that this is our documentation is this shitty little paper without even like, it's not even like a piece of foil on it or something that would be hard to recreate.
Yeah.
And with the distribution of all this money, like they're not leaning on technology, like even a little bit. Like it might as well be the 90s.
No, it's a joke. It's a complete joke.
But what's going to happen? Like, is there just going to be waves of like families on the streets? Like what's going to happen?
So I think what's going to happen, the knee jerk will be very, very ugly in the next 30 to 60 days because landlords are going to get so aggressive, right?
And to be fair,
they got fucked too.
Yes, they got completely fucked.
Yeah.
The government mandated no rent being paid without taking care of the landlord.
Yes.
So like, let's think about that.
Yeah. So for example, here's would have been another solution. We saw the economy roar back. You know why? For many reasons. There was stimulus, there was unemployment, and there was additional unemployment insurance by nearly every single state. That's a shitload of money. If the government was smart, they would, similar to PPP, like where we have to like prove that we use it on payroll and we use it on rent and we use it on resources to keep our business alive. Imagine if when we were handing out all those stimulus checks and unemployment insurance, it said, even if it just said it, this money has to go to your rent. Just say it. Even if you can't even track it, there's half the population would probably abide, probably more than half. If you say something, most of the population does it. Say, this goes for your rent. So please keep paying your rent. If you do not pay your rent and you collect this money, then you won't get to keep it coming. But instead, what people did was they didn't pay their rent. They kept that money going and they spent it. And of course, America loves business.
Yep.
Business is booming everywhere. No one said anything. No one gives a fuck. Everyone's business was up for 6 months. So we were like, fuck it. Keep the money rolling.
Yeah, it just feels very scary. It just feels like, once again, I hate to take this approach, but I find myself doing it often. But like 20% of people nationwide is insane.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay. Well.
No, and I just want to extrapolate a little further because this is what would happen because this happened in 2008. So let's say we had a collection of office landlords and real estate landlords, apartment landlords that stopped making their mortgage and they got screwed. The tenants get evicted and then it ultimately ended up in the banks and the banks were screwed.
Yeah.
The government bailed the banks and everyone else gets screwed down the line.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
Yeah. But here we're handing out money anyways. If we had handed out efficiently, we could have even gone to the landlords and say, you know what, landlords, everyone gets 50%. There's fucking enough money going around. If you can prove that you're not collecting like, I don't know, 75% of your rent or whatever from your tenants, there's a number that could have been formulated that would have handed out money.
I think Drama brought it up on one of the other pods, how did we give the stimulus with no bells and whistles, meaning like get the vaccine? Yeah. So now we're going backwards and saying, oh, here's $100 if you get it. Like that should have been the case if you got the stimulus back in April or March.
Yeah.
Like you get the stimulus, go get the vaccine.
Like if a landlord accepted PPP, and I've read this, I know this is in LA County. If a landlord accepted PPP or any sort of federal aid, they can't immediately, like the eviction, they have to chill on it. They have to work with the tenant. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how it all plays out. Here's the problem is that like sophisticated people, and not just saying people with money, but most likely people with money are going to figure out how to work through the situation, right? They're going to understand the laws. They're going to have resources to attack it. Unsophisticated, predominantly lower income people are just going to get screwed.
Yeah. Remember that documentary on Netflix, Dirty Money? The Cushers must be going to town evicting people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are. They've been waiting for this day.
I'm sure July 4th, they were just walking around.
For a year.
You're gone. You're gone. You're fired.
You're fired. You're evicted. You're evicted. Yeah.
They're probably going to
I
have a
agree.
big barbecue in September just celebrating the evictions.
Just yeah.
I agree. Well, we'll see. I mean, unfortunately, I think there'll be a lot more follow-up stories here.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break to talk about one of our sponsors, Harry's. Harry's razors, I really like what these guys are doing. The razors in general are just incredible quality. The pricing, the direct-to-consumer model. And I know that especially Tim is an avid user and can really speak on the difference. I don't shave my face with a straight razor like that, but the difference between Harry's and some of the, less desirable competitors.
And I want to say something. I hung out with Tim after the last pod. He said he's on fire from a
Clean shave?
from like a relationship, meeting people.
And you think that's all due to his Harry's
Yeah, I
razor?
think it's because it's Harry's
it's the
razor.
I bet
baby
it is,
face.
man.
Yeah.
The one
Not
thing
DaBaby.
To be clear.
the
DaBaby face.
He says he's had a really fun last few weeks.
Wow. And the only thing that changed, Tim, was you started using Harry's razors. So I'm just saying,
I didn't
think about
start
it.
using. I've just been using, and I've been on fire.
Oh.
Wait, Tim, I got to get on that. You got to put me on. I need some Harry's.
I mean, Jason as a newfound TikTok star, you need to start maybe have a clean baby shave.
Yeah.
You gotta go
I need to look
babyface.
good for. I need to look good for the talk.
Well,
Yeah.
TikTok is like
Yeah.
a younger audience, so I think babyface would go over well on there.
Yeah, I feel like facial hair you look
No,
real
no.
old.
Old.
Yeah.
So if you want to head over to harrys.com/group chat and redeem a Harry's trial set.
There you go.
Wow. What do you,
Check
and it's
it
like
out.
$2.
Yeah, comfortable shave.
$3. $3.
As well as $2 per blade. You just refill that thing.
There you go.
Wow.
And they even stand behind the quality of their blades so much that they offer a 100% money back guarantee on harrys.com. That's pretty aggressive.
That is aggressive. And so, I mean, if you're looking to make a move on the talk, I think you need a shave.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You got to be on fire like Tim.
Wow.
There you go. Okay. And new Harry's customers get a starter set. You get a 5-blade razor with a weighted handle, foaming shave gel with aloe, a travel cover to protect your blades. Apparently $13 worth of value for $3. So there you go.
Wow.
Harrys.com/group chat. Get like Tim.
The foaming shave gel smells amazing.
Wow. I actually
Really?
did smell
Maybe
it.
that's why
I
it
did
smells
smell it.
really
I did
good.
smell it.
Maybe that's why you're doing so well. People are just like, ooh, why does your face smell so good, Tim?
I like
Well,
when,
people are going to be smelling your face. You got to make sure it smells good.
I like when men have a nice smelling face.
You
Not
notice?
women.
I'm going to take that soundbite.
Yeah, it's a good smell.
Not women. Only men.
Only men.
I mean, I assume women smell. Men are questionable when it comes to smell.
Got it.
It's like a 50-50.
Get your face right. Go to Harry's, harrys.com/group chat. Let's get back into the episode. Okay. What about this? I have we have this Bloomberg article here, and I just want to read the first couple sentences. In less than a week, Trump ally Tom Barrack was freed for $250 million. And Nikola founder Trevor Milton was released for $100 million. Two of the highest U.S. bail amounts in recent years. So, on the other side of the coin, as always, there's mother effers out here paying $250 million for bail. What? How do you even do that?
I mean, it is insane. So Tom Barrack really had to pull out all the stops just to fucking.
I mean, what do you do? How do you come up? Because look, we know these guys don't have $250 million sitting in a bank account.
No, so he had to put up his house, which let's assume his house is 30 to 50 million.
Easily.
Okay. 5 million in cash. Units in his Digital Bridge Group, which is the successor to his fund, Colony Capital. And his ex-wife, son, and former business partner also chipped in their properties as security. Former business partner and ex-wife
The ex-wife had to jump in.
This-
Why wouldn't the ex-wife just be like, sit in jail?
Imagine you got to call your ex-wife and be like, listen, I need a favor.
Honey, I know I'm a piece of shit, but
sorry about all the mistresses, but I need you to do me a solid here.
so, you got like 30 sitting around.
Oh my God. Just find
Wait,
this
how
piece
does
of paper.
bail work? Is it 10%? Did he only have to come up with 25 million? Or is this
I mean,
difference?
I don't know at 250 million if it's the same bail. There's not like a bail bondsman for this, right?
Yeah, I don't
Like
know
the guy across from the local prison is not. Tom Barrack came pulling up, and he's like, "Man, well, my bail's 250. What do you got on it?"
Because it says in the article that, like, I believe that is the normal case on and that you, gosh, what is it now? I can't believe I'm blanking on this. It's something like if you pay the 10%, you don't get it back.
Correct.
I think it's that. I think it's if you pay the 10%, you get out, but you don't get that back. If you put up the entire amount, you get it all back.
Right.
So I
he
believe
may-
in
he
what
may
they're
have put
trying
out
to
that.
do. Yeah, like I think they're trying to say, look, here's assets, here's everything. Because I'm not going to just give away $25 million. I don't have that. So here's $250 million worth of assets and all this stuff. I promise I'm coming back. Because in the article, it talks about people who have been really rich and who have had bails like around $450,000 and have walked on it. And that's why they have to make it so ridiculous, because it's the only way to guarantee these guys will come back.
And part of his bail, he has an ankle bracelet. They've taken his American passport and his Lebanese passport. And they said he cannot speak to any officials in Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates.
Wow. So normally he'd be in Capri or Mykonos or somewhere in the
He'd
Mediterranean.
be on MBS's yacht,
Yeah.
that $500 million.
By the way,
this
fuck
guy.
everyone on those European trips right now.
Everyone's in Europe.
You just
It's
said
so
fuck
sad.
you to like half of your friends.
Yeah, fuck them. They're so annoying.
Should I repeat my Tom Barrack story? Because I don't think Drama was here on the episode.
I think he was.
Which one?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
So I'm going to repeat this. Sorry for the listeners, but I think Drama will get a kick out of it.
Please, yes.
I was in Aspen for a bachelor party. This is 3 years ago. And it's 9 Indian guys, 3 Chinese guys, and I think 1 white guy. That's our bachelor party crew.
This
we're
sounds like the
sitting-
start of one of those jokes.
Yeah.
So we're sitting at one of like the nicer hotels in Aspen, not St. Regis. It's the other one. I forget
Little
the name.
Nell, you said.
Little Nell.
Okay.
So we're having lunch. One of the guys in our group worked for Tom Barrack, Chinese guy. And Tom Barrack actually was nice enough. He saw him, recognized him, walked over, and he was junior at the time when he worked for him. And he said, like, "Hi, how are you?" And he exchanged pleasantries. And then he points at all of us and he's like, "I wish I knew what was going on in this group. I feel like there's some great conversation happening." This was a bunch of Indian guys and Chinese.
Whoa, he's just like, it
Oh
looks
my
like
God.
espionage, and that's my middle name.
Oh my God. So you were there, you've met this gentleman?
No, I was sitting there. I saw him say this.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what you foreigners are talking about.
Well, now we know why. He likes this.
Yeah, he's into
He's
this
looking
stuff.
to make deals.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
no,
So I was actually talking to some friends. I was like, should we have taken that as a compliment or was that stereotyping?
Yeah,
What
I
was
wouldn't be so sure. It sounds nice, but I'm not sure
yeah.
that that's where it came from. Wow, that's an incredible. You have some really good stories of these like run-ins at fancy places. You know
There's
what I
always
mean?
just so many Indians, so people are curious. Like, what are these Indians up to?
Yeah, why are you guys all together? I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're in finance for the last 15, 17 years, you've run into all these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Finance
Okay.
or technology, either.
Well, you look like currently you're on the better side of the deal.
Yeah.
Not in jail.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's another one. Complete jump, but good news for good news for pigs, and bad news for people who like to eat them.
Yep.
Bacon. There's like a bacon shortage in California right now.
Well, here's the problem is that animal welfare organizations for years have been pushing for more humane treatment of animals, of farm animals. And if they strictly enforce it, the price of raising animals goes up substantially. And
So
so,
just cram those little pigs in.
so right now, only 4% of hog operations now comply with these new rules. And so what could happen is if the humane organizations start really putting pressure on the state government, we could see an enormous increase in bacon prices in California, which, so, you know, when you go to like a breakfast place, obviously we're vegetarian, so we don't care for it. But like, I'm guessing, so they interviewed a lady who runs a restaurant in San Francisco and said, top menu item in our restaurant is bacon. If bacon goes up, we're toast. Like, we don't have
lumber. I feel like maybe we should go get a deep freezer and load up on pigs.
So California restaurants and groceries use about 255 million pounds of pork a month. But the farms in California only produce 45 million pounds. So
prices are going to double, triple.
Yes.
Gosh, imagine like the delicacy of like $100 slice of bacon.
I mean, bacon prices could jump 60% in the short term.
And then they just have to adjust, right? It's going to take them time to adjust to meet these new, because this is like a law that passed, right? That was voted in, right?
Correct.
I will say, as a vegetarian, bacon smells amazing.
Oh.
If I were to eat meat, that would be the first thing I would eat.
It smells so good.
If you had some nice, slightly crispy bacon, I think that's worth, if you ever fall off the wagon, head on over. I'll cook you up some $100 bacon.
There's definitely a room for, you know, when, you know, Tom Barrack gets out of jail, he wants a nice piece of bacon, $200 truffled bacon.
Yeah.
So does that mean the hot dog places outside the clubs are going to raise their prices?
Yeah, I don't know what the dollar dog is now these days, but it's probably $12.
Yeah, you walk out of Poppy and it's like 120. Get yourself a bacon wrapped hot dog.
I mean, it'll work outside of Poppy. Yeah.
You could have champagne and bacon coming to your table.
Like a waitress has to like, wow, they're rich. They just ordered 12 bacon dogs.
Wow, they just got 12. Oh my God, how
That's
absurd.
a good flex. That's the second flex.
Yeah.
After paying for the table, the people want to see like, how many bacon dogs you buying?
Bacon for everybody. Everyone walks in. Ladies, come on in. You want some bacon?
Yeah, man. I feel like it is, horrendous news though. If you are like a small breakfast shop, what do you do here?
Yeah. And I think we also are forgetting like fast food restaurants. I always see bacon double cheeseburger, bacon this, bacon that.
Yeah, Carl's Jr. is big on bacon.
They're toast. I'm short Carl's Jr.
That's why McDonald's, I don't see bacon in their ads.
They know. They knew it was going to happen.
They knew this was coming. They might have done it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just another strange sign of the times. What about, one thing that I kind of missed when I was gone is this whole Robinhood IPO. What's our update?
So we talked about it in the last episode. It obviously didn't do well. The stock went down 7-8%. So we're also getting some more information. So 300,000 Robinhood users participated in the IPO, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
300,000 disappointed Robinhood investors because obviously the stock went down. 25% of its IPO shares were distributed to Robinhood customers. The second biggest IPO that Robinhood has ever distributed, I'm shocked. It was F45, the gyms.
Oh, the Wahlberg gym.
That was the first biggest?
Yes. 78,000 Robinhood users used that. And then, which is pretty crazy that like 78,000 is still a large amount. 300,000 is crazy. But what's interesting is the average person. Hold on for a second.
Wait, F45 was the second biggest?
Second biggest.
Oh, got it. And Robinhood was the first.
Yeah, and average Robinhood customer got 41 shares, so $1,600. The average Robinhood.
Say lost 8 to 10%.
Yeah.
Is it back to zero yet or no? Back to where it started?
No, it's still down from its IPO.
I think it IPO'd at 38, went down to 34, 33, and now it's at 36.
I wonder what's going on Reddit. I wonder if there's any.
I don't know, but I walked into a breakfast spot this morning and they had like a array of newspapers and it was just Vlad and his partner. They were on front page of every single one.
Yeah, with their long fucking
hair.
Just
long hair, happy as fuck.
Yeah, let's see you shut down trading on that one, Vlad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will say all of my, other than the hate even that I feel for how they handled that whole situation, other than that, it's pretty freaking cool. It's pretty cool. Like what they do is cool, and then the fact that they IPO and they now have on their own platform can offer their own shares to their own people. It is pretty cool. It would have been cooler if it was maybe up 5 or 10%.
Yeah,
but
I hope that the Robinhood user gets access to the really hot stuff. Like Robinhood needs to bully their way into deals and say, hey, like, I don't know what's the next hottest IPO that's coming out in the next 6 months, whatever it is.
Stripe.
So make sure Robinhood users actually get Stripe. Don't give them like Warby Parker.
Right. No, I agree. Because Stripe is a company that will pop.
Yeah, Stripe's going to...
Yeah.
They're going to get like the not hot shit.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
You got to get the hot shit. I have to believe like there's a huge future in this. Like it just seems like the idea of retail traders partaking in an IPO just seems like such a no-brainer.
You know what? You know, in 1998, 99, I talked about this before. Peak bubble tech IPOs. Wit Capital was a small brokerage house that somehow got access to every fucking IPO. And it was like a lottery. You just had to wake up early and put your name. And if you had a brokerage account, you could potentially get them. There were many instances where I got IPOs and they popped and I made a bunch of money. And then when the whole thing went kaboot, we lost that whole privilege and they stopped giving it to Retail Joe because so many Retail Joes lost money.
Yeah.
So
you
curious.
Get some hot ones.
Yeah. Give us some hot ones.
Yeah. Okay. Have you guys talked about, you talked a little bit about this Scarlett Johansson thing, right? Or not at all?
No, not at all.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Scarlett Johansson is doing the unthinkable. She has taken on the mouse.
She is out of her damn mind.
I mean, what is going on here? This feels to me like, it almost feels to me like Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney over the fact that they released Black Widow on streaming platforms when apparently she was promised or contractually or whatever that it would only be in theaters for the release. She's not happy with the way that those profits work out or whatever. But this feels to me, we'll obviously get more into it. This feels to me like you sit down with your lawyer and you say, you know what? Fuck it. This might be like career suicide, but if we win, the payout will be worth it and we can just check out.
So the movie is Black Widow and her deal was she got $20 million up front and she then would participate in the back end, which I'm sure is a huge movie. So she would have made a lot of money. Yeah. So from what it's saying, it's that she got $20 million as her fee to star in the movie. Here's the problem. We are now in an era of entertainment where I don't think A-list stars have the power anymore.
No, they don't.
They don't have the power. I mean, Netflix has proven you could put any schmuck up there and you could have a huge show or movie. Yeah. And I get it. Contractually, this is the deal you signed and you feel like you got a raw deal. My guess is Scar Joe is richer than fucking piss.
Yep.
So if she's making this decision, she's comfortable with potentially not working with the mouse again.
Yeah, that's what I would have to think, right? Or like, is she just hoping they settle and they say, you know what, here's an additional 10 million. Sorry about that. And she's comfortable just forfeiting her Disney relationship.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the math.
But here's the math that doesn't make sense to me because I've read numerous articles on this. So the movie did 80 million at the box office domestically, 78 million overseas, and another 60 million on Disney Plus. So first of all, Disney Plus is on fire.
Yeah.
60 million, $30 a fucking movie people paid to watch that.
Was $30 to watch Black Widow?
Yes.
Who are these people? 2 million people spend $30?
So, okay, that's so what Scarlett's people are trying to make a point that she lost out on her back end on the box office because so much was taken away from streaming. But she gets a piece of streaming, just not as much as she would have gotten in the box office. Yeah. So the point is, guess what? That 60 million wouldn't have existed in the box office. Yeah. So your math is wrong.
Yeah.
But is her percentage maybe way less?
Yeah, I'm sure percentage is way less on streaming versus box office. My point is, you would not have gotten 140 million in the box office.
But here's the thought: if it was not,
Maybe.
what'd she get on box office total? Did you say roughly?
So 80 million domestically, 78 million overseas, 60 million streaming.
Okay, so let's just say you eliminated. Here's the theory: if you eliminated the 60 million of streaming, you had 150 million of box office roughly. What if you took out the streaming and it would have been 170 million of box office, which you make a much better rate on, and therefore,
they haven't broken out what the percentages are, but like if you're an A-list star, get with the times.
Yeah, the business model has to evolve. COVID proved that the business model has to evolve, and the consumer is okay with it. So you're risking, because she's still very young. Why would you risk the future earnings with the mouse? I mean, you want to do a superhero movie? It's with the mouse.
Doesn't it also seem a little weird that like a company like Disney wouldn't say, hey, we have to release this on streaming because times have changed, but it's in people's contracts that we're not going to, so why don't we just give them $5 million and make everyone happy?
So Disney has come out pretty categorically saying all her claims are false. They tweeted it. It's like publicly, like Disney came out guns blazing saying she's full of shit.
Yeah, what's she thinking? I wonder.
So imagine if Disney's willing to publicly say this. Yeah, they have they're as buttoned up as it gets. It's a $300 billion company. I don't even know what it is, but they're not their lawyers aren't letting Disney put out that statement unless they knew.
Well, it's also it's opening a Pandora's box, because if you settle, then every star, I don't know, Jungle Cruise, is that Disney?
Let's say it is.
Okay, but like if The Rock comes and starts suing Disney, then The Rock's like, you paid Scarlett Johansson, you're gonna have to pay me. So they can't let anybody get money. They just can't.
It just seems ballsy. No matter what, it just seems like, damn, like what do they think that they have? That you're
let's just say they think they're right, which maybe they are, and they get a big bag of money, and she's okay with that. I don't need to work with Disney. I don't need to work ever again.
She might not.
She probably doesn't need to.
Yeah, maybe that's the
so
case.
rich. Yeah.
Maybe she's just kind of over it.
Yeah, and she's like, I want to get paid when I want to get paid.
I heard Matt Damon on Bill Simmons' podcast last week. He basically said the era of making the money that Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Cruise, it's over.
Yeah. What movies is he in?
Who?
Matt Damon.
He's got a movie coming out this Friday that I will be watching in the theaters.
Wow.
Stillwater.
Wow.
Stillwater runs deep.
Okay, let us know how it was.
Yeah. I'll be watching it on Delta soon.
But no, it's interesting. He basically said like, you're
Variant
not getting
or airline?
Airlines.
No, because box office isn't going to exist the way it used to.
No, you can't get paid like that.
You can't get paid like that.
No.
It's over.
You all actors need to come to that realization.
Yeah, I think
you need to figure out a way to make money somewhere else.
The problem with this one, she probably did like the deal
5 years a year.
Yeah, like, and then like it all changed probably during this deal's term. I don't know, man. I'm real curious to see how this works out. It seems like Disney wouldn't do something that crazy where they knew that they were exposed. And then it seems crazy for Scarlett Johansson to sue them. But what do I know? I can't wait to see how it turns out, though, and talk about it a lot, because there also will be more details.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anything else?
One last topic.
What do you got?
AOC.
Oh, no. What happened?
Uh-oh.
AOC, Tim, earmuffs. We don't know, for the record, if this audio is going to make it on the podcast.
Yeah, it might mysteriously disappear.
It might mysteriously disappear.
Oh, whoops, we just got an error. We just can't stop.
But I'm going to say it anyways. AOC has contracted $40,000 in the first 6 months for private security of 2021. So January to June 2021. Famously known as the Defund the Police captain.
That's a lot of money.
And nearly 5,000 of it went to an ex-Blackwater employee. So for people who don't know, Blackwater is an organization started by Eric Prince, huge MAGA, they're
mercenaries.
They get hired by foreign governments to basically like kill people. That's literally what Blackwater is.
Allegedly.
Do not put that on TikTok. Because that's not what they claim they do.
Yeah. And so 5 of the 40,000 of the Defund the Police captain went to Blackwater. If you want to defund the police, why are you spending $40,000 on security?
Because it's not safe out there.
It's not safe, and sometimes you need a little law and order.
Yeah.
And I agree, she needs security.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying she doesn't.
Yeah.
So do we.
But my point. Yes.
Yeah, then we should all get security. We should all. I would love a black person staying outside my
how
house.
can you go to the same community saying you don't need police, but I do?
Yes.
That's a fundamental misunderstanding of what defund the police means.
Well, it means do not give money to the police.
It means reallocate funds towards education.
Reallocate to Blackwater.
For police.
If you want to reallocate the LAPD funds to Blackwater, that's what AOC did.
I want AOC surrounded by therapists, relationship counselors.
Where are the community organizers protecting
Excuse me, sir. I know you want to take AOC's money right now in her watch, but I'm going to need you to stop for a second.
Let's talk about this.
Tell me what's going wrong at home right now. Oh, really? Okay. So is that good? You can leave now? Great. Thank you.
I mean, imagine if you had a $6,500 a month. It's $6,500 a month security detail.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
And you can't say defund the police.
No, you can't say that.
You can't. You just fundamentally can't.
There's a bit of
if you're getting literal daily death threats.
What's that?
If you're getting literal daily death threats.
So she should understand the power of police.
Why we need police protection.
That's not all right. So I'm a socialist. I love police in theory. The issue is execution.
So she went to the MAGA executionist, Blackwater.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know. It's fact.
New York Post. I don't know what they're smoking over there.
Oh, so now you don't believe.
Now it's the facts.
Now
You have
news.
ex-Blackwater saying they protected AOC.
Yeah, I mean,
and AOC declined to comment like you are.
He's a fake news guy.
Declining to comment. I'm commenting.
I'll say something.
What's that?
Well, so their whole point is the practical reality of it is we're all capitalists. AOC's a capitalist. End of the day.
She's a socialist.
Okay.
She claims she's a socialist.
She claims she's a socialist.
But she spends
ideologically.
$40,000 in the first 6 months
Right,
for
but
security.
isn't that the whole point of what you were saying the other day? We're all capitalists. Even if
she's not.
I know, but she's.
You are.
In
I
practice,
am timid.
in practice.
She's not. She doesn't want to be.
No, she doesn't want to be. I don't want to be. But in literal practice, we all are. And that's the point you guys raised the other day.
You can't fake the funk.
Well, then how are you going to get change if you don't try to bring it about?
You know what the change is? Is walk the streets like the rest of us and have no fucking security and good luck.
But the rest of us aren't getting daily death threats and almost came to death at an
Then
insurrection.
maybe you should watch your words. I don't know. It's clearly not resonating with people.
It's
Well, if you watch your words, you're never going to get the change you want.
It's the same way. No. Hold on. I think Drama and D will accept this analogy.
Maybe it's not resonating.
It's not resonating. If people want to kill you, that's not a good sign.
No, but the point is the hood rapper that goes back to the hood. I don't need security. I'm good here.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, you could just go because you're loved.
Yes.
But it's not the hood that's trying to kill her. It's MAGA down there that are coming up to New York to
They're
try
not
and pull up to her office.
They're not showing up to Queens.
Well, it was the Capitol riot.
They're not pulling up to
Well, it was
Queens
the Capitol
Boulevard.
riot.
The point is, then change your narrative. That's the point. She should publicly say, I need security, so does your community.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. That's all we're asking.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I do. I do agree with that part. I agree with the part that we should all feel secure. That's fine.
Yeah,
I just want to be fair.
I'm fine with her having security, but don't starve other people from having security.
Because in her community, people are dying.
Not what it is.
No, but that's what people.
That's what people like you who don't take the time to understand it think it is. But that's not what defund the police is.
It's not get less security. It's stop these
it's not.
cops from killing us.
Let's not turn this into an anarchist society. That's not AOC's goal. There's no socialist in the history of the universe that has ever wanted an anarchist society.
But can I just ask a question about
How can
this?
you possibly
I
misconstrue this?
I just have one question.
Misconstrue it. I think you guys are just out to lunch.
I have
You
are
are taking
totally
the
out to
time
lunch.
to listen to us.
Tim, one question.
Yeah.
It does seem like in all of the cities that have attempted, the most attempt at toning down the police, right? I'm not saying that they've executed the plan flawlessly. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying they have taken the most steps of anyone else. Crime is through the roof. And people are doing things like running into CVS's and running out with whatever they want. And people are getting robbed and all that stuff. How do you look at that?
I look at that and I see that as an example of the police not doing what they're supposed to with the most, it's the most
So why is she
funded
hiring
public
private
organization.
security? Why isn't she hiring community organizers?
Because the police are failing. Because they're failing. They've been failing for a long
she hired
time.
Blackwater.
I don't know about that $5,000 that went to Blackwater.
You don't know.
I really don't. No, I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe she was a part of. Maybe she was a part of like a meeting where everybody had the same security, and she, pitched in.
So I think here's the thing: is like when and we can just end this discussion. But like the problem is that for people who are her critics is. If you're going to she uses very aggressive language when it comes to the police, right? And the police if you don't support people, they don't support you. So the police in her community probably don't feel safe in their community as well as the constituents. So what happens in a community like that? No one gives a fuck anymore. So when you use aggressive language and you turn people away, then you have to take a tact that actually is a little bit more effective because here's the problem. You say all that, then you go get private security. You're being a hypocrite. You just can't. I understand that like people are threatening her life and she should have security, but you have to choose your words very wisely because it doesn't make.
Yeah, it's not like security's only for me, not for you.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I feel like she should have, like when they asked her for comments, she'd been like, yeah, I need security. I'm getting death threats. Like she should have like said that.
And she said, our communities need security too. Why can't you just say that too?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. It's just reforming.
But what she says is so aggressive about the police is terrible. The police is this. It's ruining our communities.
I agree with you, but I also agree that she. True. I agree with you, but I also agree that she should have the security.
That the police is a corrupt organization that has been targeting minorities specifically for a very long time, and like maintaining the status quo, maintaining systemic racism. They've been at the crux of this for a long time.
Yeah, and unfortunately, change is painfully slow. It is painfully slow.
And when you speak out against it, people say, "Oh, shut up! You need to pay for security details."
I think she's a flawed hero for you because she actually doesn't believe what she's preaching. Because she wouldn't spend $40,000 on security in the first 6 months of the year. Do you know how much $40,000 security gets you?
Good security.
Great security.
That's great security. I'd love to have some of that.
Would you rather her be a martyr? Like her get killed and then be a martyr for this movement?
Dude, do you really think she's going to get killed?
I don't think
she almost was killed and much, much worse on the insurrection.
People that give death threats to soccer players.
To the politicians.
All right, have you heard her talk about it? She was literally one door away. She hid behind a door.
But what didn't
like
also people
she
say
had to
that
stand behind a door? No, she said that. That is what happened.
I thought that there was also, I mean, look, I don't know, but I thought there was also like a group that said she was actually like relatively far away.
I would trust her word over the word.
Well, I know you would, Tim.
You would, but we have to be a little bit more objective.
Like if somebody says I was there,
but the point is,
typically going to trust them more than somebody else who speculates and says, I don't know.
It's from other people that were there. It's from other people that were there. But the point is, it's not this or die. There's a whole slew of options in the middle, which is that you live the way that your message is said, and vice versa. So look, I do think she should have security, to be honest. I really do. I just think that she should also be looking out for the security of everyone else. That's all.
That's my point.
All right, let's move on to shout-outs. The shout-out is actually for drama.
What happened?
So it's from a golfer. Her name is
my fellow athlete.
Her name is Sam Stockton. She's a group chat listener. She's been playing since she was 2 years old and sees some great potential in his swing.
Wow.
With that said, I have a couple tips.
Why, thank you. I'm very athletic.
All right, number one, here we go. Square up your shoulders to the target line on your putting. Putter head path is determined by shoulder alignment, so the more square the shoulders are, the more square the putting stroke will be, aka drain more putts.
Got it.
Okay. Number two, take a bigger rotation on your backswing. By finishing your backswing and taking a short pause at the top, you will create more lag and gain an automatic 10 yards.
Woo! Wow. I'll take it.
10 yards.
She believes you're PGA bound in no time. I think she meant PGA West in Palm Springs.
I will be bound there probably in the fall.
She's our resident group chat golf expert. If anyone has any questions, head over to her Instagram at Sam Stockton. At the end, there's just KTN. So check her out. I follow her. She's always posting A lot of golf swing stuff. So
I mean, she must be incredible if she's been playing since she's 2.
I would assume.
Yeah, I could probably use some more to keep the tips coming. You know, I'm guessing I'll just keep posting videos. You keep sending me tips.
Okay, perfect.
Great. Thank you.
Any other shout outs?
No shout outs.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a challenge for you, Drama.
Yes.
Make the senior PGA Tour.
You know what's funny
about
is
27 years, I think.
what's the age?
I think it's 50.
Yeah, you know,
27.
Or just, sorry, 17 years.
I was just thinking that when she said PGA, I was like, that could be like a good, you know, goal. Like my goal is to one day make the senior tour.
That seems impossible.
I don't think
Because it's
so.
all the ex-pros, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it's new people that showed up.
This could be like my Logan Paul moment, just a lot more boring. You know, like I didn't fight Floyd Mayweather, but I did compete against a bunch of 80-year-olds.
I did compete against a 95-year-old Tiger Woods.
Okay, I'll try my best. Tiger's back walking, by the way, it looks like.
I saw
Wow.
that. They said it was a Beverly Hills hotel where he was with the crutches.
Wow.
What hotel do you think that was? BH Hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you think he makes a comeback?
No.
No chance?
50 and over is senior PGA, which is crazy because Phil Mickelson just won at 50.
Yeah.
A regular PGA.
Yeah, I think
They
the
need to
guy
raise
who
that age up.
I think the guy who just got silver in the Olympics was over 50.
I think they need to raise that to 60. 50 is too young.
So then you give Drama 27 years.
27 years, he has a shot.
Yeah, I agree.
17, you have none.
If it was
These
like
people
75 and over, I might be able to make it.
75, I like. That should be the new age.
Maybe there's like a senior, geriatric PGA. Okay, that's it?
That's it.
Okay, gang. Thank you. We will be back on Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Peace.